She is the host of Dancing with the Stars, soon to be the host of Drive Time on 2FM. She's on tour with her chart-topping podcast and has recently gotten married. So here tonight, mainly for a sit-down and a rest, would you please welcome Doireann Garrihy! Welcome to the Late Late Show.
Thank you, Patrick.
It's lovely to have you on Dancing with the Stars. You've got the radio show coming up, the podcast. You've just been married. A busy few months, would we say?
A busy few months, to say the least.
Yes.
It's been amazing, though.
And you're also back on air with Dancing with the Stars this Sunday.
Yes.
Things are hotting up a little bit, is it fair to say? People are getting very annoyed about who's left in and who's going to win and all the good stuff that happens.
I didn't hear about any of that.
No?
No, I heard bits and pieces, of course. Yes, we are week 8 this Sunday, which is orchestra night, which everyone is always very excited about. It's actually flown this year, I've found. But yeah, so we have a live orchestra in studio and 11 weeks in total, so it's flying by. I think it's been an amazing season.
It's been a brilliant season. I know you're not allowed to say your favourites, so we're going to ask you who are your favourites.
I can't say. Oh. I can't say. Of course, there are people that look. I can't say that. That's like asking me my favourite child.
Yes.
I look after all of them up in Doireann's den. They're all my favourites. It's like having 2 Olympians in the mix means it's quite competitive this year. So they're doing brilliantly. Obviously, Kaylee, Aisha. Look, they're all doing brilliantly.
She's given nothing away. She's giving nothing away.
Who do you guys think will win?
What do we think? You see, they're quite shy, but honestly, you know, give them half an hour. This will be turning into Premier League darts. It'll be. Now, I know that you were originally on the show whenever you were cheering on Aoibhinn and your sister.
Yes.
Did you ever actually think that you would be presenting the show?
Absolutely not. Yeah, Aoibhinn, oh, there she is. She was season 1. Yeah, she was absolutely brilliant. I actually was asked kind of maybe 3 years ago what I think about doing the show. And I very cheekily, well, first of all, I have a dodgy knee. I had surgery on my knee, so I said no. But I very cheekily said, no, but I'd love to present it. Not knowing that Nicky Byrne was actually leaving.
There was a gig coming up.
So it pays to be cheeky, Patrick.
Yes.
So I put the feelers out, obviously, and then I kind of got a call about 2 weeks later saying, do you actually want to screen test for this? And I said, absolutely. So I kind of gave it everything and I got the job.
You are going to be back on radio next Monday.
I am.
Drive Time.
Yes.
9 months away.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be back?
It feels brilliant. I left 2FM Breakfast last May. I had done 5 years of breakfast, 10 years of kind of mad busyness, and I just needed a bit of a break. And so took a leap of faith and took a break. I never could have anticipated how much I would miss it. I knew I would miss it. I just didn't think I would miss it as much. Like the year was kind of planned out. I knew what I had coming up. I was obviously getting married. I had my podcast, Doireann and Friends, The Laughs of Your Life. Any Laughs of Your Life listeners?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a few!
There you go.
I thought it would only be my mum and dad.
There you go. By the way, I actually bumped into your mum and dad. Your mum and dad were just wandering around just before the show, just with 2 glasses of wine.
On the set.
On the set. I literally thought they'd let the audience in early. And
how did they get in? And you really just escorted them to my dressing room?
I did. No extra charge. But Carlin Donica will not be on Drive Time with you. I mean, you can tell the truth. Is that a relief?
It's not, Patrick, because I've been practicing and, of course, preparing for the past few weeks. But, I mean, when you do a show with 3 people, it's a totally different beast. I'll look at them there. It's a totally different beast than doing it on your own. So, you know, I've been preparing, but, yeah, I think I'm able for it, of course. But it'll be very different.
We know you're able for it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. When you left the breakfast show last year, there was lots of publicity around that. Were you surprised at sort of the amount of heat about
Well, I suppose the timing was strange because obviously I kind of said I was leaving and then a number of different presenters left. So it was a weird time. So I wasn't surprised, of course.
There was a lot of presenters leaving just after I arrived. I was checking the deodorant there.
It was not personal, Patrick.
No, well, you say that.
Yeah, no, I wasn't surprised by that at all, of course. It was a strange time. But I hadn't spoken to the others at all. I didn't know that they were going to go as well. So yeah, a strange time, but I wasn't surprised.
You also hit the headlines a little while back for, I think it was a paid social media post while you were still working in RTE last time round. Looking back on all of that stuff now, what's your take on all that?
That wasn't a pleasant time. I made a mistake at the time, and obviously I have a responsibility working for the national broadcaster. I shouldn't have done it. I was reprimanded at the time. I apologised. I apologise, and we live and learn. You live and learn.
And that comes with having a big social media following. There's the good side of it, there's the bad side of it. I mean, you've got lots of fans on social media. You've also got the trolls out there. How do you deal with them?
They're actually few and far between. For the most part, social media is a really positive place for me. And it's something I've built for, the guts of 10 years now. Like before I ever started in 2FM, I had built, I suppose, this Instagram and Snapchat community, and they've been amazing. Of course, you're always going to get the 1%, no more than the Late Late Show gets the 1%, or any big platform.
I get a bit more than 1%.
It's really grand. But you build a thick skin, and listen, not everyone's going to like you, no matter what walk of life you're in and what job you're in. You can't please everyone.
No.
And so it's part of the game, really, no matter where you're working or what you do.
I mean, you're saying that, when you work and you put yourself out there. I didn't realise, you've spoken a bit about this before, that you were actually bullied at school.
Yeah.
What was going on there?
I was in secondary school around the time Bebo was a big thing. And listen, I think it comes with being a teenager as well. Sometimes you're in the firing line, sometimes you're not. I happened to be for about 2 years. And my parents actually were amazing at that time. Like they've always been very good at actually saying to us what's going on and sitting down every day and saying, is there anything you want to say to us or anything you want to tell us, and just being really open with us. So I had a tough time in kind of 4th and 5th year. And I'm really glad actually that it wasn't in my pocket. Mobile phones weren't a big thing then, because I think that's a massive challenge for parents and for teenagers these days, and trying to navigate that, I'm sure, is really difficult. But I think being open with young people and just saying, just know you can tell me if there's something going on, we can figure it out. And my parents actually, they didn't intervene. They just kind of went, okay, at least we know you need to try and figure this out, because if we intervene, it'll undermine you. And
you were able to sort it out?
Yeah, and move on.
You have been a performer from an early age, would that be fair to say? Was performing always the dream?
Yes, for sure. My parents kind of noticed that in me from an early age. We all did speech and drama, but they kind of put me into stage school. They're like, that'll quieten her for a bit, or maybe put manners on, whatever this is she has going on. Always loved it, wanted to act, and gave it a go for about a year. Kind of wasn't very patient with it, because
it's a tough gig.
It's a tough gig. You do auditions and you don't get a call for 3 weeks and it's a no, and it could be because you're too brunette or too tall or whatever. And I kind of didn't have the patience, and it was my sister Avian actually said, what about radio? So I did a 12-week course in radio production. From there, I went into AA Roadwatch. Iconic. I'm actually really sad it's gone. And my friends at the time, actually, they were like, it's so random, to just read the traffic. I was like, it's not because I have a passion for motorways. I a good breakdown, Red Cow, Friday evening, really gets me going.
I think we've actually now got the item that you need for the drive time show.
There you go.
That'll start next week. We're going to bring that back. You started out doing impressions online. Wasn't that kind of where it really broke through for you?
Yes, I did. Around the time Snapchat was really big in probably 2016. And, big personalities like Roz Purcell and Pip O'Connor and Suzanne Jackson, they were all on this platform. And I did a few impressions kind of on their own. And then I did a kind of ream of them. And I put them up the same night that Trump was elected in 2016.
Okay.
So I think everyone was online. Whether they were happy or sad,
yes.
I don't know. Maybe I brought happiness to people who were sad. And it kind of just went viral overnight. And it kind of hasn't stopped since.
And it kicked on from there.
Yeah.
We have to say congratulations, recently married.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Patrick.
How did you and Mark meet? The handsome couple. We got a little snap there.
Oh, there we are.
There.
Can we get a little ooh?
Oh, sure, look at that there.
I'm so awkward.
With the love.
We met on Instagram, actually. So I followed him. I'm going to admit it now because we're married. It took me ages to actually admit it. I followed him. He followed me back. I DM'd him. It's out there now.
Okay.
It's done. Now that we're married, it's all good. But actually, the night before our first date, I was like, I actually have to tell you something. And he obviously died, didn't know what this was going to be. And I was like, you actually bought me a drink about 10 years ago. And he hadn't remembered.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
I really sound like a creep now. Everything I'm saying, I sound like the ultimate creep.
The good news listening to you telling this story is that that's going to be forgotten, and it's not going to be reminded of that every day of his life from here on in.
But no, we had an amazing day in November.
And the sisters were bridesmaids?
They were indeed. But they have like 5 kids between them. So I actually didn't give them too many jobs because I was like, you need to sort that out.
You did, I believe. There they are.
There they are.
Looking good.
Yeah.
You did, I believe, give a job to... was this a good idea or a bad idea, giving former radio presenters a gig at the wedding?
I don't regret it because...
Really?
Look at them there. I don't regret it because it's good content. Look, we've talked about it since. So I gave Carl Mullen, my former co-host, a prayer of the faithful. And now I gave him the one about the family that have passed, right? So, because I know that Carl can't keep it together. He laughs at anything. So I kind of pranked him by doing that.
Oh, so the most serious prayer
The
that
most
had to be
serious
done.
prayer you can do, I gave to him.
Okay.
So then he, in turn, decided to prank me. Well, Donica, they had a bet on that he would say the prayer of the faithful and then do a 7-second pause before saying, Lord, hear us. I obviously didn't know about this. So I'm sitting there at the top, myself and Mark, hand in hand. And he does look at the face on him, he knew well. He does the prayer and genuinely he committed to the full 7 seconds. I thought he had had a stroke. I was about to get up from the chair and he kind of did a, Lord, hear us. Looking at me.
And that is the reason why he will not be joining you on Drive Time.
It's done.
On Drive Time next week. Look, thanks so much for coming in. Best of luck Sunday night with Dancing with the Stars and Drive Time next week.
Thank you.
Give it up one more time for Doireann Garrihy.
Thank you.